Ooh, child, and I thought I was unbothered. Girl.
I'm the librarian, and I came to read.
That is what you call unbothered, okay? I thought I was. I'm dragging you girls. I ain't doing shit. Girl, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I want y'all, even though there was no episode this week, I want y'all to go to fortheculturepodcast.com. We upgraded the fuck out of that website. If you haven't seen it already, girl, get your life and go ahead and see it. Patreon.com/AdrianExpression, girl. The patrons get these videos first, girl. Let's get into some of what the hell is going on this week. Now, this week, for me, was particularly depressing. It was just so much shit just piling on top of each other and so much ignorance and shit. It really is hard to digest all that shit sometimes, so I really have to sit my ass down. But I am collected, and I'm here to spill some tea. Now, bitch, before I get into it, I want to talk about all these fucking boot up remixes. Boot up. These remixes are sounding screwed up. They're sounding screwed up. Bitch, they're sounding screwed up. I want y'all to leave the boot up alone, sis. She is cute. Now, let me tell you, Ella May, is that how you pronounce her name? Ella May? She's so cute. Girl, I watched an interview with her, girl, and she talked about her story, how she went between London and the United States, and how she ended up in LA. She's cute, girl, and the song is cute. She's cute, and the song is cute. Why are your faves taking boot up and shitting on it? How dare you my God, Nicki and Quavo. Oh my God. Then you had Plies hopping on this hoe. You got T-Pain on this bitch. Let me tell you one of the reasons why I have a problem with some of these mainstream artists it's all over the motherfucking place. I'm so happy that Ella May is getting the exposure that she needs, but I'm unhappy because mainstream artists do this shit all the time. You don't hear them talking about new artists. You have some of these mainstream artists who really uplift these up-and-coming producers, writers, and singers and shit. You have some, but you have others, they don't say shit about them the whole fucking year. You have a lot of these artists, they could use some help. They don't say shit about them the whole goddamn year, but the moment that one of these new artist songs pop off, all of a sudden says, oh, we gotta hop on the remix. Where the fuck were y'all at? Working hard to come up in the fucking industry. Like, it's no shade. I don't know people's individual stories. I don't know how they handle shit individually, but I'm saying as a whole, in general, it looks really crazy for y'all to side-eye these new artists like they ain't gonna be shit, and then when they actually are shit, y'all jumping on the fucking remix. Like, girl, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. And if I was Ella, I wouldn't be saying shit. I'd be like, girl, I'm happy I'm getting all this exposure. But I'm just saying, like, it really is a trend. I've seen it happen over and over, and I don't know how to feel about it. Like, please tell me what y'all think. Because I don't know how to, it's not just with Boot Up, it's with a lot of other songs and situations. Please tell me what y'all think about this shit, because I don't know how to feel. Now, I am not naive. I know that anytime somebody in this fucked up ass administration resigns, that Trump and his can of sardine shape ass is going to already, he already has people to replace him. I know that. But I really wanted to speak particularly about Mr. Scott Pruitt. He was the administrator of the EPA, but he fucking stepped down. Now, the reason I want to speak about this shit is because of the resignation letter that he wrote Mr. Trump. Now, I'll put it up. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but sis, this shit is scary as hell. And the reason that it is because the amount of times that I see "serve you" written out in this fucking letter is very alarming. Because the last time I checked, Mr. Scott Pruitt, you were not supposed to be serving the president. You were supposed to be serving the American fucking people. But here, I'll read you some parts of it. Scott Pruitt says, truly and by your, he's talking about Trump, truly your confidence has blessed me personally and enables me to advance your agenda beyond what anyone anticipated at the beginning of your administration. Your courage and steadfastness and resolute commitment to get results for the American people. Like, wow, girl. I said this on Twitter. I was like, bitch, I wish I could have ever gotten a blowjob that was this amazing, sis. Because the way that you're on his dick, sis, I believe you are serving as president today because of God's providence. I believe that same providence brought me into your service. I pray I have served you as I have blessed you and enabled you to effectively lead the American people. Who the fuck are you talking to, sis? What, like, you would really think that this letter was written to a deity? You really think that Zeus was coming down here, maybe Ares wanted a fucking offering, and this letter was written to a fucking demigod or some shit like that? If you don't sit your ass, like, he is not our great leader type bullshit. That shit is scary. It's not even no political fucking stance. At this point, it's almost like worship. And that, bitch, when you get humans to worship shit, we seen how that shit ended up. And y'all can take that how you want to take it. And that's why, I mean, Trump recently went on one. That's why he goes on these unnecessary ass, rallies like he's still campaigning. It's like this church. It's like he has to foster this sense of community with the cult. That's all it is. And we just stand by and watch as he talks about fucking Elizabeth Warren getting DNA tests and shit, talking about how he would have waited for the protester to just jump down, just get some nets and shit. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. And as much as I make fun of him, as much as we all drag his ass, he knows exactly what the fuck either he knows or whoever's, pulling the strings knows. But they know exactly how to divide and splinter this fucking country so it's easier to get whatever the hell they want. And speaking of dividing, and we had people like Stephen King and also Tamara's husband, his name is Adam Housley, I think. And she always talks about the fact that, I got a white ass husband. All right, girl.
I get called white man's whore.
And of course, it's not just them, but this week they've been outspoken and they both said the country is divided, and in order for us to really heal these wounds, essentially what they're saying is, girl, y'all need to just get over it. Go and hug somebody whose political views you disagree with. This is what will heal our country. Now, of course, that came from white men who, at the end of the day, no matter how liberal or conservative they are, at the end of the day, their asses are going to be safe. So, of course, it's going to be reasonable within their ability to go to somebody they politically disagree with and hug them, because they hold the fucking power. Nothing is gonna threaten them. No ICE ain't gonna be fucking knocking on their goddamn door. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna be calling the police on their ass when they out for a goddamn swim, bitch, which I'll get on later. Y'all are so comfortable with this hug a Nazi ass rhetoric because you're fucking safe. Bitch, we're not. Y'all forget that politics is different from morals, okay? Politics is, oh bitch, I don't think that this city building should be on this particular street, or I don't want this street running here, let's move it over here. Or I don't think this building should be that high, let's move it down here. Or let's put the city hall here instead of here, bitch. That's politics, ho. Bitch, you're talking about morals? You're talking about if someone deserves to be seen as a human fucking being, girl? I'm not gonna hug your ass. The last time we dealt with Nazis, we blew those hoes the fuck up. What the fuck you talking about, girl? And that's one of the big ass problems that I have with this centrist ass white liberalism. Girl, kiss my ass. Like, y'all are still not getting the point. No matter, at the end of the day, some of these allies, they're still white. There are some who go the extra mile because they know they have to learn about some things that they have no experience in and understand why people act, minorities act, marginalized communities act in a certain way. And those are the people, those are the allies who get it. But the ones who are just like, well, girl, yeah, it's bad, but just go hug them and kiss them, girl. It'll be okay. Anytime minorities are welcoming to white supremacy, anytime minorities were welcoming to bigotry, girl, they were wiped the fuck out. And history teaches us that. So y'all can be on that shit. I'm not gonna be making out with a Grim Reaper. I'm not gonna be jacking a Grim Reaper's dick off. He can stay over there. We got some resisting to do. And speaking of resisting, Miss Patricia Teresa, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Miss Girl. Miss Girl! Ooh, bitch, Miss Girl, you so disrespectful. You are disrespectful, bitch! How sickeningly, amazingly, how powerfully disrespectful is it to take your black ass? Is it to take your black ass and get on the steps, you fucking bitch? Ooh, bitch, on the 4th, disrespectful. On the 4th of goddamn July, disrespectful. I'm here for it. I love every moment of it. She goes by Patricia, I think. She comes from Congo, and she's been involved with a lot of protests. As I said, she's a part of a group called Rise and Resist, and they did this whole demonstration protest at the Statue of Liberty. And they, abolished ICE. They had all those signs and shit, but Miss Patricia went the extra mile. She climbed up there, girl, and she sat on the base just like that. She said, okay, so girl, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Because you're here, I'm here, so, and the kids are in the cages. So like, what's the plan? What we gonna do? And they were there for hours, and you should see how some of these whiny ass policemen go talk about, yeah, girl, either she had skill or a bunch of luck. And then she go, bitch, it was obviously skill. What are you talking about? She climbed on the fucking statue of goddamn liberty. What the fuck you talking about? It ain't no motherfuckers. Girl, that was skill, ho. Talking about dumb luck. Girl, kiss my ass. And then these police officers talking about, yeah, our legs were kind of getting a little bit tired because she made us stand off for hours. Yes, girl. And she remained unbothered. She remained unbothered at the base of Lady Liberty, girl. How sickening of a metaphor is that y'all about to choke her ass out at the fucking steps of Lady Liberty, girl. Yes, we being trampled by Lady Liberty. Girl, she made a fucking statement on the 4th of July, and y'all are, international fucking news. That's what you call shaking the motherfucking table, okay? And of course, there were backlash. I already talked about the fact that a lot of people are just like, why are y'all fighting for these Mexicans? I'm just like, First of all, sis, Mexican immigrants are not the only immigrants at risk underneath this Trump regime. Let's get that out of our system. Second of all, even if Mexican immigrants, which is so specific, as if there aren't whole ass other countries banned, as if Mexicans, I guess, are the only immigrants that exist to y'all. But even if they were the only immigrants at risk, girl, do they not deserve protection? What the fuck? Like, you think that we don't need no help? Like, yes, we do have to fight for ourselves, but damn, some help would be needed, and we know that as black people, so why the fuck would we not help somebody else out who's struggling? Like, girl, even if Mexican immigrants were the only ones at risk, why the fuck would you leave them alone? Why the fuck would you leave them out there by themselves, bitch? I don't understand it. And also, it's really interesting to see all these people who had such nasty things to say about black women every other day of the goddamn year. All of a sudden, she's a superhero to y'all, okay? Even though, a lot of people are contributing to this fucked up way that society treats women, all of a sudden now she's a hero, okay? Instead of just a human being trying to make a fucking difference, she's a superhero that's indestructible. She doesn't need any assistance, you know what I mean? She's just a badass all by herself. Okay, sis. I don't know where y'all get this idea that women are Kryptonians and every time they sacrifice themselves and their bodies and probably their freedom for your ass, it's just superheroes saying here to say today, bitch, this ain't Marvel fucking comics. This ain't DC Comics, sis. Y'all don't pay attention to black women until they doing some extraordinary, until they lifting cars up off your body. You know what I mean? It wouldn't seem as distasteful if y'all would support black women as they do things, as they go through these systems, as they build their platforms. No, it's only when they lifting semi-trucks off the highway that everybody, oh, look at the black woman, girl. She worked for that shit. She worked for that courage. She worked for that finesse, strategy, because protests take strategy. She worked for things to be in place for shit to go down the way it did. So girl, it ain't just no superpowers that she has. It's called planning, intellect, and sacrifice. If we saw it like that, if we saw it as work and not magic, then it would be easier for them to get support instead of having to move planets, and then that's the only time y'all acknowledge them. I'm over it. I wanted to read you some of the things that she said. She said, I can say a lot of things about this monster, and of course she's talking about Trump when she says that. She said, but I will stop at this. His draconian zero tolerance policy on immigration has to go. In a democracy, we do not put children in cages, period. Nothing you can say will convince me that that is okay. Nothing. She also said this.
Michelle Obama, our beloved First Lady that I care so much about, said when they go low, we go high. And I went as high as I could.
I thought that shit was so goddamn clever. I said, yes, ma'am. Now I can use that saying and it makes sense. Now, as I said, she is from the Republic of Congo and she has been living in the United States for 10 years. She obviously put herself under the risk of being deported under this fucking White House. Now, legal-wise, she's due back in court. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I tried to look this shit up. She's due back in court in August 3rd, and I think she faces a maximum of 18 months in prison if she is convicted. But it was really amazing to see all, social media basically mobilized to see, okay, where is she? Where is she being held? What the hell's going on with her process? Girl, I got the update that she was gonna be released 2 p.m. on a certain day. I was like, okay, girl, we keeping up with sis, because we know the legal system in this country is bullshit. Now, I would give this person a cute little quirky nickname so we can remember him and make sure to drag his ass all over the internet, but it has already been done. Adam Bloom says, I'm gonna put up a video of you, sis, right the fuck now, girl. And before we even talk about anything, girl, it's always the ones that built a snapping turtle in the face that have something to motherfucking say. He harassed a black woman and her kid while they were at the pool, girl. He's just like, girl, you don't belong here. And it's just, wow, in public spaces, it's just, they don't want to share shit. Either you're here and I'm not here so I don't see your ass, or I'm coming and you need to fucking leave. Somebody put on Twitter that white people really think that policemen are just the customer service of life. And essentially, sometimes they call their ass because they know what the fuck's gonna happen. And they claim that all these things don't exist, all these biases and shit don't exist. But they know that shit. They know that it exists. Otherwise, they would not call the police on something so fucking petty. You think they would do that to fucking little Susie or Tom? mommy. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. And then when the police come, they act like, oh, I don't know, I mean, asking for all types of IDs and seeing if her pool key works. We can't just exist. Like, we have to exist and then prove why we should be existing. Like, we exist first, and after they want us to, you know, write a 5-paragraph essay with a thesis statement and topic sentences as to why we should keep existing. At her own fucking pool, at her own pool. And Adam Bloom, I'm not sure why your last name is Bloom, like you just built like this sunflower that's just beautiful and open, when in all actuality you're constructed like a trampled poison ivy plant, sis. So I just really, you should get rid of the name Bloom. But sis, they found your motherfucking company, girl, and I'll put it up. They said that, girl, we are aware what happened, and he's no longer employed by the company in any respect. So it's cool to see that shit happen. It's wonderful. But in a white supremacist society, they'll always find a way back. They'll always find a way to recover. And we see that in the interaction, you know, that is on the video, because his skin color, automatically the police officer had to make him comfortable and had to make her prove herself. And we all know why that is. So it's just really discouraging, especially when you have somebody up here looking like a Ninja Turtle telling your ass that you can't swim. Like, sis, I guess because you're constructed like somebody's tortoise, you know what I mean? I guess it's easier for you to be in that, you know, watery environment, and then when someone else comes in, it really distorts your natural habitat, sis. But I'm gonna need for you to take your ass maybe onto somebody's zoo or maybe a sanctuary or something where you feel more comfortable around your kind, okay? And I'm talking about turtles, because that's exactly what you're fucking constructed like. You're giving me Finding fucking Nemo teas, and if that's the case, I want to be fucking Dory so I can forget this bullshit, so I can forget how your face is constructed like the mangled ass front of a car after a big ass accident. There's no reason why you should be looking like a mechanic's nightmare in the motherfucking face. Fix your spirit, okay? And on that note, you, especially you, Patricia, can have a good goddamn evening.